Hey y'all, I'm Amber. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my weekly wrap-up. I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrated. I also hope that you kept safe and enjoyed Black Friday. I don't think that Black Friday is as worth the hype as that it got in, because I went for Black Friday this year, and there's just not enough deals. Like, I thought, oh, everything would at least be cut down at least a little bit, and the things I wanted to get weren't. So it was a little bit frustrating for me to go there and just wasted my time and energy with something that I could have actually just waited to get on a normal day. And the movie selection wasn't so good, so I was just like, wow. I don't think I'll ever do Black Friday again, because I just don't think that the deals were as worth it, especially with like the movies I could get them like super cheap to Amazon or whatever, if I, as long as it's not a new movie. But, so, I at least hope it was worth it for you. It just wasn't for me. But, that being said, let's go ahead and get into what this video is supposed to be about, which is books. This week I finished one book and DNF'd 2 books, sadly. I will be talking about all 3. The book that I did finish this week was The Story Life of A.J. Vickery by Gabrielle Seven. This is about AJ, who is a widow. He's isolated himself from everybody. He's lost interest in the bookstore that he owns and runs. Then one day, he finds a package at his door. This book is just so wonderful. From the story to the characters, to the writing, it was just really beautiful. It warmed the cockles of my heart, and I really just found it just so light, but had depth to it, and I just love the way that she treated this story. It just felt like it came off the pages, and it was just like it felt like a kind of like a cozy read for me. I just really enjoyed the humor of it, yet there is a tinge of seriousness. But I will say that this book is not really original. There's just so many things that felt like it was coming from different things that she maybe read and watched, and she just kind of like piecemealed it together. And the story is her own story, but it just felt like there was just so many things that were from different things that the story did not really feel original. And yet I still loved it, just because she just knew how to she just knows how to write. I will also say that she brings up some issues, but because the main character is a person of color, and yet she brings it up, like the issue of the fact that he is in a mostly white community, and there's like this one moment where this person says something and it's brought up and then dropped, and I'm just like, why did you even bring it up if you didn't really want to go that deep? It's just nothing that needed to be talked about at all if you're not going to go anywhere with it. So there is issues with this book, which is why it got 3.5.
Not original. She brings up some stuff and then drops it, and I mean, it's just the main issue I have with the book is that it's not original. Like, it ties into what the whole is. It gets so much on the head of something that I watched when I was in there, and just that really, it was hard not to compare because even though the story is different from that, it was just like, it really felt like she was taking the idea of it and yeah.
Anyways, I'm rambling. I gave it 3.5 stars. I think it is worth reading, and it's something I would reread again. Just a little bit sad with how unoriginal it is. The first book that I DNF'd is The Yiddish Policemen's Union by Michael Chabon. This is about homicide detective Meyer Landsman, who finds out that there was a murder in this hotel that he's living in, and he decides to take on the case. And this is
an alternate history, so the people of Jewish descent have escaped from Germany, I think, during World War II, and have created their own community
in town in Alaska, and now they're going through a reversion, so there's that going on throughout this book. This was overwritten and completely over the top. I found myself not knowing what was alternate history and what was actually real, and in the end I felt like,
you know how you're like the newcomer and these two people have this inside joke and you don't know what that inside joke is,
and so you completely feel like you're on the outside of everything. That's what it felt like reading this book, because I just didn't know, especially when it came to the Jewish terms and the Jewish culture, what was their actual culture and what was part of this alternate history. I just didn't know, and he wouldn't explain it. And yes, there's a glossary to define certain terms, but that isn't enough. That doesn't make you inclusive. And I just found myself being really annoyed with it because I read this to 100 pages on, and we were barely getting into the actual case of what this murder mystery is supposed to be about. And Landsman is, I didn't really like Landsman. He was such an annoying character who always seemed to be self-pitying in a way. Like, he didn't act like he was pitying himself, but you could feel the self-pity party going on in there. And I just didn't really like where the story was going, and I just couldn't deal with the alternate history bit, especially because it just felt too confusing for me about what was real and what was not. And I just didn't really care for this at all. And by the point of getting 200 pages down to, like, seriously, we're barely just getting anywhere, and I just lost complete interest. The last book that I DNF'd is I Captured the Capsule by Dodie Smith. This is about 17-year-old Cassandra who is
trying to develop her writing by creating a diary.
And so we're reading her diary and seeing her life through that. I am really, really disappointed with both of these two books because these books have been on my shelves for so long and I guess I was just hoping that I would enjoy them. But I'm especially disappointed with this book because everybody kept saying how this was a charming coming of age book and it's just really sweet, and I'm just like, reading this and I'm like, how is this sweet? This father who is an author himself and is dealing with writer's block, instead of getting another job to make sure that he can provide for his family, is just sitting on his thumbs, letting his family starve. And he's also abusive. Like, I skipped ahead and I saw this point where he physically abused one of his children, and I was like, what the hell? How is this a sweet coming of age story? They're living in squalor, they're being starved, neglected, and abused, and the whole town sees this, and they don't even do anything, and they and the family are making excuses for the father and saying how he's this great guy, they're just going on hard times, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, seriously? You may not see the physical abuse, but you have to see that they're starving half to death. And I just really got angry because of all the people who seem to turn a blind eye to that aspect of the story, where it's basically romanticizing the starvation and abuse of children. I will never read another Dodie Smith book because of that, so I could not read any further. I didn't like the writing and didn't like any of the characters, and so sadly this was a huge disappointment for me. Lastly, I'm going to be talking about the books that I'm currently reading. I am still working on Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow. I really thought I'd be a little bit further than I am with this book, but it is what it is. Hamilton and Jefferson feud, I guess you could call it, was really stressful to read about. I think I finally am past that point, but wow, I don't really like Thomas Jefferson anymore. I thought he was better than us, but he is just, like, he just couldn't get past his own opinions to actually see things through another person's eyes. Hamilton himself, he's so impulsive and he just doesn't know how to stop, you know, like, he just keeps on going. He's like a train wreck half the time when it comes to certain things, and so Hamilton was a brilliant man, but he also had a lot of faults that, like, he just seemed to always put roadblocks in front of himself a lot of the time. So it's very interesting to read about Hamilton and the relationships that he had with the other founding brothers, and it's just really What a stressful life. Next, I am reading Half of the Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi. I'm about 100 pages in. This is about 5 people who are connected together during the 60s in Nigeria, and this is when Nigeria is trying to become a republic, and it's very interesting so far. I'm really enjoying the writing and the characters. And I'm also reading Blue Diary by Alice Hoffman. This is a library book, and I am almost done with this. I'm halfway through, and I should be done with it tomorrow. I am absolutely loving this book. I love Alice Hoffman's writing, and it's the first book that I have loved since reading The Dove Keepers by her. I've tried other books by her, and I just haven't enjoyed them as much as The Dove Keeper, and so I've kind of stopped reading her book for a while. But now I picked up this, and I'm absolutely loving it. There you go. That was all I have for you today. I would love to hear from you if you've read I Capture the Castle, The Yiddish Policemen's Union, or The Story Life of H.H. Bakery. I would love to talk to you below about them if you have. I'd also love to hear what you've been reading lately. Thank you all so much for watching, and keep smiling.